Hello, what's up? It's Karen back in another video. Today I'm going to have my Elton John vinyls. Felt like doing another vinyl collection because I hadn't done one of these for a while. This is probably going to be a two-parter. It'll depend on how we do it. So I'm going to call this Elton John vinyl collection part 1, and then I'll go back and do part 2. So I've got my 7-inch singles and 12-inch LPs to show. I'm doing a part 1 part 2 because I've got a lot to show, but we're going to get cracked down to it anyway. The first single up I have is Rocket Man from 1972 on the DJM label with 2 songs on the B-side, Holiday Inn and Goodbye. This doesn't have a picture sleeve. The picture sleeve of this one is a cool gatefold. I would like to get that, but yeah, I hope to find one. Well, I'm sure we've got number 23 on the sticker. And there's something cool with these Elton records, which I've probably explained before. When you hold them up to a light, they go a kind of red colour, but some of these ones do and some don't. Next we have 1972's Honky Cat and Lady Samantha and It's Me That You Need. Again on DJM, 1972. For some reason someone's written Ruth over the DJM label on the first side, but on the B side it's just normal. Next we have one of my favourite Elton John single, Crocodile Rock, 1972, Elderberry Wine, both from the Don't Shoot Me on the Piano Player label, and this is in the original DJM company sleeve, which is quite nice for these singles because it's quite nice that the record labels would give these singles like company sleeves. So this was probably the original sleeve for Crocodile Rock in 1972. We have Daniel from 1973 from the Don't Shoot Me on the Piano Player LP, and Skyline Pigeon. So there's that one. Next we have one of his best, Goodbye Old Brick Road, 1973, and Screw You on the B side. And this one here does go red when you hold it up to light. Well, it depends on what light you hold it up on because it goes green really when you hold it up to a light. Some records go green and some do go red. Probably try and show it really. Apologies for the weather, it's really cold out there. Kind of the right time to show the single really, Step Into Christmas and Ho Ho Ho, Who'd Be a Turkey at Christmas in 1973. So yeah, kind of the right time to show the single as we're of course approaching the festive season. So obviously this will be a good time to play the record. And this is an original DJM company sleeve. Again, this is in a DJM company sleeve. Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Sick City, 1974. Yep, 74. I do quite like the DJM label design. Another one of my favourites, The Bitch Is Back, 1974. Cold Highway. This is Elton John's cover of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Quite a good version of it actually. And One Day at a Time, which is a John Lennon song he does. Quite a cool single to have really. 1974. Which I think features John Lennon in that single. This features John Lennon in that single too. Philadelphia Freedom with I Saw Her Standing There featuring John Lennon, which was at John's one of Elton John's concerts. John Lennon made an appearance at Madison Square Garden and he performed I Saw Her Standing There has been one of 3 songs which I'll talk about on a later record. This is still on DJM but in a customised sleeve. It's Someone Saved My Life Tonight, 1975, and House of Cards. Now, this is obviously from Captain Fantastic because it's got the Captain Fantastic on it. Quite long for a single actually. I think this one is at 6 minutes. This one's quite long for a single. This is a 6-minute song. I mean, I do quite like long singles, you know. Things like Hey Jude by the Beatles and Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. But things like The Who Won't Get Fooled Again were edited. It's just so the radio stations would play it. We have a cover of Pinball Wizard, of The Who's Pinball Wizard, which is a good version of, and Harmony from the Goodbye Old Brick Road album on DJM in 1976. It was released, I think. Yeah, I think it was 76, I'm not sure. But then Elton changed labels and of course went on his own label, the Rocket Record Company, and of course he's one of his famous songs, Don't Go Breaking My Heart, which is a duet with Kiki D in 1976, and Snow Queen in the original Rocket Records sleeve, which is quite nice, and I quite like the label design. Next we have Elton John and John Lennon, 24th of November 1974, which was the date of an Elton John concert at New York City's Madison Square Garden. And near the end of the show, towards the end of the evening, Elton was joined on stage by close friend and fellow musician John Lennon. They performed 3 songs together, which were Whatever Gets You Through the Night, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and I Saw Her Standing There. And this turned out to be John's last concert appearance. And we're on DJM, and it came out in 1981. We're on a red DJM label for some reason, which is quite cool. So I think I might have shown this before in my solo Beatles video, as well as my Elton John singles collection, and I'm going to show this as well as my Elton John singles because it's Elton John and John Lennon. 1983's I'm Still Standing, oh, really good one, and Earn While You Learn, it's on the Rocket record label. Sad Song Says So Much from 1984, I think, and A Simple Man. Yeah, 84. Nikita, 1985, and The Man Who Never Died. And of course I have the 12-inch for this, which I'll show when I get to the 12-inch records. Unfortunately this has got a tail missing in the corner, but that's alright really. Wrap Her Up, 1985, and Restless. So yeah, that's the 7-inch singles. We're going to do the 12-inch LPs now. Okay, so we're going to show the albums. So we start off with his debut from 1969, Empty Sky. Quite a good album actually. This was his first one of his. This is his earlier one. It's his first, and it's not bad for a first album. There's quite a few good songs here. Lyrics in the Gatefold. There's Elton and his lyricist Bernie Taupin. UK copy. A lot of these are British records. I quite like Empty Sky. Then Was Tomorrow, Scaffold, and Skyline Pigeon, the ones I really like. So it's quite a good album, really. And this is on DJM in 1969. These are all stereo. And these are all stereo, as I said. I'm not sure if this was put out in mono because it's 1969, June of 69 this came out. I think mono, but then was sort of not many record companies were releasing albums in both mono and stereo. So stereo became like the sort of format for all releases, and so yeah, Empty Sky. It didn't actually do very well within the public or the charts. Well, it was his early one, really. So obviously it was early days for Elton. Then we have Just Called Elton John, 1970, the second album. I quite like this album. What ones do I really like? Well, Your Song is an obvious one, and Take Me to the Pilot and Border Song are the ones I really like. These lyrics on the inside, it's got nice fabric to it, nice soft kind of fabric to it. If you pull the camera a bit, you can sort of see the, sort of feel the, like, it's a bit hard to get it, poor lighting in here. But anyways, this is DJM 1970 in stereo. These are quite thick records. These are quite thickly pressed records. And there is the back with the people who worked on this album, as well as Elton John and Bernie. There was the record producer Gus Sturgeon as well. So yeah. We have a live album. Still missing quite a lot of Elton's albums, but I'll hopefully get there. This is 11/17/70. In the UK it was 17/11/70, which was recorded on the 17th of November 1970 as a radio broadcast in New York. It was put out, I think, because they recorded this for the radio, and it was probably going to end up as a radio concert. But because, you know, bootlegging was very popular at this time, making bootleg records, the record company kind of thought, well, we're going to put out an official product, and that's what they did. In 1971, they put this live album out. Quite a good live album, actually. It does a very interesting cover of the Stones' Honky Tonk Women, and as well as a good cover of the Beatles' Get Back in a medley. So it's a US pressing. It's not UK pressing. Might like a UK pressing someday. It's on Uni Records in America. It's got quite a nice label design. Really like the label of it. Uni, very colourful, I must say. It's quite a flimsy pressed record. But the Americans tend to like, particularly my Beatles ones, the Americans would often press it rather thick card. And I think the records may have been a bit thick too, but this is quite a flimsy one. Because I do have quite a few American pressed records. Next we have 1972's Honky Chateau. Favourites on here are probably Honky Cat and Rocket Man, the two big hits on here. Yeah, I haven't yet heard the full album, but I have heard the two big hits on it, so yeah. It's got quite a nice texture to it, it's got a picture stuck to it. And this is an early copy, because it's got the open, this got a little flap here that it opens and you get pictures of Elton's band, which are Nigel Olsson on drums, Dee Murray on bass, David Johnson on guitar, and of course Elton on piano, and Eric's lyricist Bernie Taupin. Inside with the lyrics, quite a long gatefold I have to say, and again this is on DJM Records in 1972. And this one here, I could show you it. It does. I'm trying to get a good view of it, but there you can see it goes red when you hold it up to the light. So that's a perfectly good example of a DJM record. I'm trying to sort my camera out, so there we are. Next, this is probably my favourite Elton John album. Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. Excellent album, and it's a great cover too, one of my favourite covers. My favourites are Daniel, Teacher I Need You, Elderberry Wine, Texan Love Song, Crocodile Rock, and High Flying Bird. So yeah, excellent album really. In 1973 this came out. So yeah, it's meant to have a book, but the book's not in here. The book's missing from this copy, and it's a little bit scuffed and scratchy as well. This was one of my earliest LPs I got. It did have a sleeve when I got it, and the sleeve I got it with it's now kind of busted. So I've given it its nice black polyline sleeve. But then I got a few months later a better copy with the book, and it's in a lot better condition than my other one that I just showed. The book has like the lyrics and pictures of Elton's band, as well as pictures of Elton himself. There's Bernie Taupin, there's Elton John. They kind of look a bit like Laurel and Hardy down there in these photos. And there is that. And again, we are still on DJM. 1972, I think. Well, 72 was when it was recorded, but it came out in the January of 73. Then we have an American press of Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player on MCA Records. Got this in a charity shop. The cover's a bit beat up with some ring wear, but the record plays fine because I've played tested it and it does play. It has the book. Book's not the book is not attached to the gatefold like the UK one, but we still have the book. And we're on MCA Records. The record needed a bit of a clean when I got it, but focus, come on camera, focus. Camera's got a bit blurry. That's it. There we are. That's the label there. Need a bit of cleaning when I got it, but now that I've cleaned it, it plays through really well. So, pleased with that. So there's my favourite. And this is a close favourite, but I still love this one. I know it's many people's favourite. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, 1973, which Elton has named this this tour his farewell tour, Farewell Yellow Brick Road. And I've seen him on this tour in Glasgow in 2020, which I don't know why I couldn't have waited a bit earlier, but I can see why he put the UK at the end of his farewell tour, and in the end of his farewell tour, because it's his home country really, so I'll probably see why he made put some the UK to like near the end. Yeah. I love this album. I like Candle in the Wind, Benny and the Jets, Goodbye Albert Road, The Song Has No Title, Jamaica Jerk Off, Sweet Painted Lady, The Ballad of Danny Bailey, It's Just a Can't Twist But She Can Rock and Roll, Roy Rogers and Harmony. It's a really, really great album. It's one of those classic rock albums. Inside is gatefold with the lyrics and pictures of Elton's band as well as pictures related to the song, really. Oh, a bit blurry again. Double LP, but I'll just show you one of the records. They're both just in plain white sleeves, no fancy sleeves or anything like that. Yeah, this is on a different DGM label. It wasn't originally on this label, but for some reason DGM started re-releasing with this kind of silverish label instead of having like yellow for the rim in DGM, yellow for DGM, and yellow around the rim of the label, so like the all rights of the manufacturer and owner, and so forth. Really, so I'm not sure why they did that, but still plays through, which is good. So I'm kind of glad I have this really, and it does go red when you hold it to a light. So yeah, and I also love the cover. I love a lot of Elton John's artwork covers, really. Then we have Caribou, another favourite cover, and the one I really like as well. I really like the Bitches Back, Pinky, Solo Prestige Again On, You're So Static, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, and Ticking. The ones I really like. So a lot of great songs here. This is 1974. It's one of my earliest Elton John records, if I remember. Yeah, I think it's probably one of my earliest ones. And pictures of Elton's band as well. We now have Ray Cooper, who is on percussion, who's joined the band, and he's still with Elton today, I think, and so is Davy Johnson and Nigel Olsen, I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, here's the inner sleeve of the lyrics. As Elton always includes the lyrics in his albums. And this is the DGM label as well. So yeah, really good record, Caribou. See, I have a bit of a personal story about the Bitches Back, which I'm not sure how to tell, but I'm going to tell it anyway. I have a friend who I see, he used to DJ for ice hockeys, and one of his workmates had been off sick, and so when she walked in, he played the Bitches Back. I mean that kind of thing you can't get away with now, but she just laughed it off, really. So I think at the time when that happened, you could probably get away with it, but nowadays probably not. I can probably see why. We have the Greatest Hits, which his record company DGM decided to put out in '74. So yeah, pretty much Elton's first few years, from pretty much Your Song through to Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. So pretty much what you had at the moment at the time. See, this copy isn't in the best condition, so I've got a couple of copies of this one. This one isn't in the best condition, it's got a bit of ring wear. This was my uncle's one. In a sleeve with just like, with pictures and... Right, no, and we're still on DGM. It's not in best condition, it's quite scratchy, but I think it does play well, because I have play tested it, and it does play well, which is good. Despite it being crackly, it does play. Excuse me. Now I have a better copy of Greatest Hits. This is in really good condition, this one. It is a later pressing, but still nice to have. I got a guy's collection. And we're on this kind of orangey, cheesy, yellow kind of DJM label. So this is probably an 80s re-release, I think. It might be, I don't know. I haven't really done too much research into these Elton John records. I probably need to do a lot of more research into the variants of the DJM label. Now we have one that I quite like, Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy, 1975. Another one of Elton John's best cover arts, which I quite like to show, really. Gatefold with Elton and his band. This is like an autobiographical album because it's about Elton and Bernie. I think my favourite song here is probably Someone Saved My Life Tonight. That's probably my favourite on the album. And this is on DJM, it's on a customised label. So I like these sleeves. And the record's in quite good condition. But unfortunately, this copy would have come with 2 books and a poster. I've only got one of the inserts, which is the scraps book. It's missing the lyric book and the poster, which I'm hopefully going to get a better copy that has the inserts. But it doesn't really matter, because I've got this album. Scraps, which is just pictures of Elton and Bernie through the years, as well as newspaper articles about Elton John in his early days, as well as some notes from Elton John's diary in 1969. So yeah, it's really interesting, these notes and diaries. The Life and Loves of Elton. This picture story is not totally factual and is provided for your entertainment. See, it's kind of like a comic thing, I think. So it's quite interesting. 1975. This one came out. So that's my this is my other copy of Captain Fantastic. Not in great condition. Doesn't have any of the inserts. It's not an original either. It's probably a later Spanish pressing, and the record's also really scratched. So yeah, probably unplayable, this one. So, and it's Spanish. Is it? Yeah, it looks Spanish to me. Or foreign. Because it has got like foreign letters around it. Let's see. I can't. Yes! Fabricado em Portugal. So, it's a Portuguese pressing, not Spanish, it's Portuguese. Rock of the Westies, 1975. This is original UK pressing. I really like Island Girl and Grow Some Funk of Your Own, and I feel like a Bullet in the Gun and Robert Ford, the ones I really like. Yeah, this copy's got a little bit of a thing there, but it's not too bad, really. This is 1975 again. It doesn't have the lyric insert, which I might like to find, really, with the insert. Elton, I think, must have had a bit of a different lineup. You still like D.B. Johnson and Ray Cooper, but Nigel Olsson and D. Murray had been removed, and he was now playing with Roger Pope on drums, Kenny Passarelli on bass guitar, Caleb Quay guitars, and James Newton Howard on electric piano and synthesizers, clavinet and mellotron. So I must have had a different lineup at this time. And this is a customized label, but it does, you know, still go red. So it's quite a nice label design. So you get Elton on one side and the band on the other. Pretty much their heads on the label. Sleep there for some reason. Yeah, depending on how this goes, we probably might make it into a long video. I don't know, but we might stop from here and then I'll go back and do the others. But this is, we have an excellent live album called Here and There. Side one of the albums recorded in London at the Royal Festival Hall, and the other side recorded in New York at Madison Square Garden. one of my favourite Elton John live albums, as well as the 2 CD edition. The 2 CD edition has a lot more songs, but still an excellent live album. Yeah. Mine comes with 2 minutes later. It comes with this one, which is obviously the original. Liner notes from the excellent broadcaster Paul Gambaccini. And whoever had it before me must have put it in a nice plain white line sleeve. And this is, I think, his last release for DJ. I'm not sure, because he then signed on to the Rocket Record Company in 76, around about this time. It's still cool to have here. So that's part 1 of my Elton John vinyl collection. So I hope to see you for part 2, and do check out some other cool Elton John records I have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.